When ceramic student and art major Melissa Fryer sits down to do her homework, she needs more than just a pencil and paper. She needs studio space.
And most of the time that's where you need to be because depending on, I don't have a kiln in my house. I don't have a printing press in my house, If you're going to do drawing or painting, you can usually do that in your own space. But if you're oil painting, there's fume problems and all of that.
And ceramic students are not the only ones vying for workspace. Art Department Chair Russell Nelson says finding studio space is a problem throughout the major.
It would be nice to have more space available for students to set up studios and such, but I think the demand probably is primarily within painting.
Difficulty finding studio space is not a new problem. Associate Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Bob Jones, says students finding a space away from where they live to create art is an inherent problem to the major.
Especially if you're working with oil paints, it's not very pleasant to walk in and have your roommate with their easel and their oil paints and their turpentine and everything out working on that because they share that room.
Even though there are relatively new studios available for each section of the studio art major, there are still problems accommodating every artist because classes meet in the studios during the day. In the 1980s, Jones attempted to remedy this problem by requesting to use this university-owned house for extra studio space.
So we felt like if we could provide an alternate space for some of these students to do this kind of work, it would just help them in the learning process and being able to do their homework.
Although News 36 was denied access to the house, Jones says most of the students who work here are upper-level drawing and painting students. Fryer worked on the house last semester and says late-night access and comfortable surroundings are just some of the benefits to using the house.
Like, some people really like loud music. Some people really like drinking tea constantly. Some people like to have their friends around, like with them, sitting with them, talking with them, and that's totally fine.
But there is more to assigning space than just filling a request. Truman's director of physical plant, Carl Schneider, says there are many factors to consider before releasing an area to a department or organization.
Oftentimes they don't think about, is the building secure, does it need additional locks, or the locks changed? And they don't think about whether it needs painting or repair usually, or how much work that's going to involve. Yeah.
Jones says that although finding additional studio space for art students is an ongoing challenge, there are often not many improvements that need to be made to a space to make it usable for students.
It doesn't take much to support them, just a room with some light, and it's nice if you can heat it or cool it, but basically that's it.
For the Truman Media Network and News 36, I'm Sarah Moore.